Dr. Quinn Snyder works in a Phoenix emergency room, and he recently wrote an op-ed expressing his concern about what's happening in his state. Dr. Snyder, good morning. Thanks for talking with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dylan and Chanel.
So coronavirus cases rapidly on the rise there in Arizona. What do you think is causing the surge?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons. You know, our stay-at-home order was lifted in mid-May, and since that time, people have been out there partying as if it's still 2019. Memorial Day, everything was packed around the state. And then, you know, as with anything with the coronavirus, usually about 2 to 3 weeks later, you start to see the effects of what happened as a result of lifting those orders and whatnot. So at this point, we're starting to see exponential growth in our confirmed cases, and we're starting to see significant growth in our inpatient hospitalizations as well.
And you wrote, you know, there's also this issue with masks throughout the pandemic. Even now, there's the debate about the effectiveness of wearing masks. We've been wearing them here in New York for a long time now. Arizona just recently being mandated to start wearing masks on June 17th. So do you think the absence of a statewide mandate regarding masks has been a huge mistake?
Well, just to add on to that, actually. So on the 17th, our governor, for the first time, decided to let the municipalities determine for themselves whether or not they would like to implement mask restrictions. And at that point, within a couple of days, usually most cities around the state, and as well as all of Maricopa County, is now under a mask mandate. In my opinion, looking over the scientific literature, I think the consensus is more or less clear at this point that mask wearing is critical if we're going to go ahead and contain this pandemic. And not just mask wearing, but correct mask usage, including keeping the mask over both the mouth and the nose simultaneously.
Mm-hmm. So governors now in both Texas and Florida have ordered bars to once again close. This isn't something Arizona Governor Ducey has yet done. Are you alarmed by his decisions? I think there are a lot of people who are torn because economically, obviously, the states have taken a hit. I mean, are masks in bars good enough, or do they need to close?
You know, I'm deeply concerned about what's happening here in the state at this point. I think without a doubt, we need to close the bars in our state. It's clear that there's significant growth in the 20 to 44-year-old age population right now. And many of us suspect that a lot of that is related to the bars continuing to be open. And to me, the fact that the bars are still open and we're about to head potentially into a 4th of July weekend where the bars will remain open and could truly prove to be catastrophic to the pandemic right now in our state.
Listen, you're an ER doctor. You're on the front lines. You're a respected voice. I know you wrote this op-ed because you don't feel like the Arizona hospital system is prepared for what's to come. In your opinion, what needs to happen?
It's a really great question. You know, at some point we have to take a look in the mirror and ask ourselves really who we are and what's going on here in our state. And I think the reality is that the Arizona pandemic reopening plan has failed. It didn't work. We opened up too quickly. We opened up too much all at once in mid-May, and we're seeing the ill effects of that. So truly the safest thing would probably be to go back to a stay-at-home order at this point. Now, if we're unable to get there, I think without a doubt, we need to close all the bars and nightclubs immediately. I think like Texas, we need to talk about reducing the capacity of restaurants at least by 50%. We need to make sure that they're engaging in appropriate social distancing in restaurants. Tables absolutely need to be spaced 6 feet apart to keep patrons safe. And beyond that, you know, we need to stop thinking in these short and medium term strategies. We need to start looking at the longer term. And that's what my op-ed was about, in that we desperately need to increase our testing capacity in this state. You know, the confirmed positives right now are at about 22%, which means that we don't nearly have enough testing capacity in our state. And then beyond that, we need to develop a much more robust contact tracing apparatus. Right now, we are probably about 1/30th of where we need to be in our contact tracing apparatus. And as cases continue to skyrocket, it'll only that goal will continue to just get further and further away, unfortunately.
And real quickly, recent stats suggest an increase in the number of young people who are getting COVID-19. Are you seeing the same in the hospital? Do you think the state has missed the window to properly manage the surge? I mean, what are you noticing?
We're definitely noticing a very big increase in people in the 20 to 44-year-old age group. I personally have taken care of many people in their 20s and 30s. I've admitted people to the hospital in their 30s requiring supplemental oxygen. We have intubated numerous people in that age group in our emergency department and had to admit them. So, I'm deeply concerned about what's happening in that age group.
Well, Dr. Snyder, thank you so much for talking with us this morning, and we are praying things get better there in Arizona.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.